that Melissa.
Welcome back to a second Car Chronicles reviewed on the same day with the
Same
Less
damn
the
day.
Stealthy Ninjas. It
Yeah.
is just Erana Mist and Boss this time, and we have just gotten out of the sequel prequel to X from earlier this year. If you want to check out that Car Chronicles review, go watch it.
That's right.
The link will be posted here. There you go. Scoot will take care of that. And yeah, so this is the sequel prequel.
Yep.
Takes place before X.
Yes.
This will be no spoilers.
No.
We won't get into too much heavy detail.
No. Because if you haven't seen X, there's pretty much nothing we can tell you about Pearl that's not going to spoil X.
Correct. So, yeah, that's why this will be spoiler free. But we will try to give you as much detail as we can.
So Pearl follows the lady character, the other lady character from X, and her life when she was young, and what she went through, kind of her mindset, how she grew up, things of that nature.
Yeah.
This
takes place like X took place in 1980.
I thought it was 70 something, like 79.
79 maybe.
Maybe the 80s. I don't remember.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, because it was before the porn got big.
Right. Hold on.
Because X is about porn. In case y'all were scared. Yeah. You see it? Your phone is so dim. Still from movie theater dim.
Yeah, 1979. You're correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the X takes place in 79, came out early this year. This takes place in 1918 towards the end of the First World War.
Don't look at me.
And there's apparently what at this time was it? The Spanish flu going around?
Spanish influenza.
Yeah.
There was a pandemic.
So, and a lot of people were wearing masks, and everybody was scared of catching the germ,
right.
as they put it. The medicine they were taking.
Once you're sick from it, when you're recovering from, I guess, the influenza, is just liquid morphine.
Liquid morphine sulfate.
Yeah, by mouth.
By mouth ingestion. No, sir.
No.
But yeah, so that's when this movie takes place.
Yes, and it's Pearl and her dad and her mom living on the same farm as X film.
Now, Howard in the movie X film is Pearl's husband. He's not in this because he's overseas in Europe fighting in the war.
Yes.
We see
that Pearl is crazy than a motherfucker.
Insane than a motherfucker. And it
I think she's bipolar. I think she has several personality disorders. She need a hug. Like, you can go down the list.
This bitch jumps to conclusions better than the Hulk leaps continents.
Listen, you don't have to say nothing, and she already answering the question that she asked, and you like this.
She will tell you what you've done and what you're thinking when you've done nothing.
Nothing, just standing there like, say what now?
Right. And just,
but it's coming from somebody who talks to farm animals.
We could say that.
Yeah.
She likes going to see the girls in the pictures because she wants to be famous.
Right.
She dances in front of the animals in her barn. A cow, a goat,
and a sheep.
If you've seen the trailer, you see a goose stumbles in there, which we can spoil here. It looked like when he first came on the screen, somebody threw his ass
he was
from
like,
off screen because he came in flapping like the fuck is going on here. But he wandered in there. She's like, "What are you doing in here, Goose?" And that's when she killed him with the pitchfork. You can see that in the trailer. That's no spoiler.
And this actually gives the beginning to the alligator.
The alligator in X. This motherfucker is old. Because he is big in this movie and he is bigger.
The girl.
She is big in this movie and she is bigger in X.
Yeah.
Bitch is old.
Eating good.
She very good. Very good. But because she fed that goose to him. Because the alligator had a name like the animals in the barn because she explained she named all the animals in the barn after her favorite characters
yeah.
from the pictures.
And I was like, oh.
And then we see when she's leaving the pictures early, there's a poster for Cleopatra starring Theta Barra. And she was calling the alligator Theta.
I thought she said Diva.
But anyway, there is some violence in here.
Listen, Pearl is probably one of the most violent killers that we've seen this year.
Yes.
Like, yes.
Because, oh boy, she is
ruthless.
Woo! Not just ruthless, efficient.
That is true too.
Efficient.
And shout out to Mia Goth, who can cry on a dime. That bitch really do look crazy with no eyebrows.
She do.
They're light color.
They are very light color. and I'm just gonna say this. What I mean by efficient, if she hits you with whatever weapon she has, it is to kill.
Yeah, she's not gonna wound you and just watch you. No.
It is to end you immediately.
And you like, okay.
And if she tags you, it's over for you.
So it's actually pretty interesting because number one, she's a woman. And number two, she crazy as fuck. And it's kind of
I will say this. I've seen a lot of horror movies. Even the black and white ones. Two parts stood out to me in this movie. She is probably one of the craziest, sickest female horror movie villains I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Number two, that monologue for like 10 minutes.
Whoa.
That is easily top 5, if not the best horror monologue I've ever seen, because it covers many things. It explains her mindset from before shit got escalated
to present.
And every thought and an image she had going through each stage of her progression. And you see on her face, she is Mia Goth acting her ass off. Number one.
Kudos to her.
But you see everything. You see the feeling and the struggle she was having.
Spiraling.
And it explains her character immensely better than I will say any horror movie villain has ever had the chance to have their character explained.
And to be fair, and this coming from a horror movie snob like myself, that is what makes her scary.
Right.
Like when you think about someone being scary, like I don't look at like, oh, Jason Voorhees is scary. Okay, no. Okay.
I'm not, just don't go to the Camp Crystal Lake.
Exactly. But when you think about a regular human being going through so many emotions so quickly over a span, and you're just like, all that came in your head, bitch? Oh, this bitch crazy because you know she gonna kill you.
Look, saying that, I would run into Michael first, then run up on this bitch.
Yeah.
Because she had feelings. Nobody.
Right. It's like, what is going on in her head?
And it's like, it was a switch.
And she can justify the killing.
She can justify
in her head. And you're just like, bitch.
Instantly. Like, it's in her mind, and you see on her face, it's justified before she starts.
Yeah.
And it is. Look, this is going to be short because we can't spoil it. But look, we could just say the death's good, realistic.
The beginning drags a little, but if you've seen X, you'll understand why the beginning is the way that it is.
Yes, correct. It does drag a little in the beginning, but once it gets going,
it's going.
It's a train. So,
it's so fast.
And like we stayed during the credits because we are Marvel trained, but also during X, we stayed because we're Marvel trained, and it had a preview to this. We hadn't known nothing about it while watching X, so we stayed again. And the third movie, Maxine with 3 X's, is coming soon, as it said. So that'll probably be early next year.
Yeah,
we will be there for that because that one takes place in Los Angeles, 1985. So. You know anything about Los Angeles in the 80s, especially the mid 80s, there's going to be some bad shit happening.
It is.
So,
and if you can, try to watch X and then watch Pearl right after.
Yes.
That way you don't miss anything. We remember stuff like that because, I mean, I really enjoyed X. I think you did as well.
I did.
It was really good, and it was like, whoa. So we were ready for this backstory of Pearl, but I try to watch them together so that you don't miss any details, so that you understand everything that happens in Pearl and in reference to X. Because, listen.
Because they throw it, well, not throw it back, but they throw it forward quite a bit to X. And it's just, man, this movie was good.
Yeah.
This is good. Now, I will say this, comparing it to X, which one did you like more?
I like X.
I feel the same.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't generally like backstories more than I like the main story.
Right.
Because it's like the backstory is just filling me in on what happened. It's not like the meat. It's like mac and cheese.
I will say this. I felt bad for the victims in X. The ones in here, I felt could have did except for maybe one or two, could have did a lot to prevent their own shit. Yeah. Now there are those in X that could have prevented their own shit.
But I also feel too in this one. What year was it?
1918.
So here's the thing, and I'm not a feminist, y'all. I'm not, but I do pay attention to the feminine qualities. And at the end of the day, when you look at a movie about a little white woman that lives on a farm, people are going to underestimate her as a woman, especially during that time. Especially during that time. Now, as we progress and, the years get, closer to now, then yeah, you may look and be like, but back then, oh, I'm a tear up. Oh, I'm just a farm girl and I'm innocent. I wear overalls and I take care of animals all day. Who's going to look at her and be like, this bitch dangerous?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of why I don't really agree with, I mean, yeah, in today's world, I would have been like, oh, this bitch crazy. But in that time frame,
unheard of.
Yeah.
Look, I love listening and watching true crime docs and podcasts and stuff like that. There are not a lot of female serial killers. So if there was, especially during this time, they weren't even investigating the male ones too much.
Right.
This was before the FBI.
Because people came up missing all the time. Like it was like,
and you would just run away, or you died in the war somewhere,
right? Or you fell into some corn, and some pigs ate you. Like, oh darn!
But anyway, like, so if this was to happen in 1918, and they were like, "You seen your cousin, your sister, your brother not?"
And from a fortnight.
They would they went off to the war. We got a pandemic on. Like they ain't gonna be like, well, like we do miss them at the church.
Look, that bitch around the corner crazy, so we may want to drive by her house. Right. Nobody's doing that.
Nobody's doing that. Nobody is like, this is at a time when people think people are civilized and nice and that there's no violence.
Yeah.
Like shit.
And
you could say
they didn't even have no lock on their door.
No, you could make the argument that this is 1918. For at least 60 years, nobody started looking at anybody with any kind of suspicion.
No, because they'd be like, "Oh, Johnny's a nice man. He cares for his family."
Right.
And you're like,
meanwhile, Johnny got 18 bodies under his floorboards in his bedroom.
Exactly.
So
snatching children off the street. And they be like, well, maybe it was polio. They don't know.
Furniture is made of hair and bone.
Right.
But shit.
So, I mean, there's no expectation that this person could be dangerous, especially because Mia Goth, too, is a very petite little woman. You know what I'm saying? And, like,
she had some fury coming out of her,
right?
Boy.
That bitch is, I don't know if her daddy worked in the coal mine and his testicle sac was infected. Like, what happened? What happened to you, girl? But you crazy. But I still appreciated it, especially for the backstory. And you kind of are just like, I mean, you knew the bitch is crazy, but you just didn't know how crazy she was. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was. And when you see how crazy it was, like, oh, this.
Because, like, her and X, there was not a lot of her personality in X.
Right.
There was some. But you were just like, how'd your old ass get like this?
Right.
And this explains it perfectly.
Perfectly. So this was good. Go see this. It's only if you've seen X though. Do not ruin X for
right.
yourself.
Do not ruin X for yourself.
Yeah.
Watch X first.
Yeah.
Then watch this.
And that's rare that I say that for a prequel.
Right.
But watch X first and then watch this to really get a feel for Pearl and her crazy ass personality. And I guess her husband too.
Right. Howard, that is
No word.
Howard is something. But anyway, shit. Yeah. Check out X.
Yeah.
Then watch Pearl. And then we will see y'all on the next Chronicles review for the next Ti West horror movie, Maxine. When that comes out whenever.
Isn't the Darling movie coming out next week?
The Darling movie's already out, I think.
No. Yep. It's not.
I believe it is.
No, it's not. It come out next week.
But what I'm saying is we will be back with more Chronicles reviews this year. But you'll see the next part of this Ti West horror trilogy in Max Triple X scene next year, I assume. And yeah, we will see y'all then to see how this story wraps up.
Yep.
So this has been the Ninjas, Erana Mist, Cosmic Boss. We'll see y'all next time. We about to head home and hop on these games with Nico. So
we coming for you, Nico.
Right in your fucking physics defying ball throwing ass. Look, we will see y'all soon. Y'all be good. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you have a good week. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.